Hello, my name is Jim, and I'm making a game called Fun Man. This is a video about some progress in Fun Man, in the order that they were done. I just made a list because I often forget things. So in the game, there's an NPC called a chucker that appears out of nowhere, throws something at you, and disappears. I had the idea to make it a little less unfair by adding a decal that now is just a red X that's on the ground, that if you spot it, you can avoid them. I needed a way to display the NPC's name and their health, and previously I'd been doing it by having a little floating bar over their head, but I really didn't like the way that worked, so I reincorporated that into part of the UI, where if you're pointing at them, it gives you their name and health. If another NPC comes into play, it switches to them, and then as soon as focus is removed, it fades after 2 or 3 seconds. Ever since I started putting the game together and learning about coding, putting together reusable NPC components has been a big thing, because I know I want to populate this world with many different types of NPCs as easily as possible. I just want to be able to drag things into nodes and have them work. There are only so many things that can happen to an NPC when they get injured, so last week I had the idea, well, what if I just made a reusable node that I could plop into all the NPCs that detected what was in their area and then played the appropriate effects? And then I came up with this. So every day my grasp on class names and how they can be stacked has been growing. I realize the power of them. Everything's getting a class name now, which is making progress much more readable and allowing things to move much faster. So that's nice. During the end stages of the game, Kaldor is going to leave his shop and help you through the last few levels as a companion. So I did a little bit more work on him and decided he should be able to see invisible enemies to help you out. So I did that. Instead of a long-winded thing that I've tried to do 2 times already, I was having trouble with the NPCs detecting the bait balls just because of the way that they were set up, and I wanted to reuse the code that had the NPC follow the player. So inside the bait ball, I put a small character 3D. I extended it from the player class, and that worked. Onward. I did a thing where I took a bunch of my bosses and put them together to see how they handled fighting all in one scene. And I realized during the attacks, they were getting bogged down a whole bunch. Since nothing extraordinary was happening during these attacks besides the visual effects of all the candy spewing, I looked into that and realized I had used a mesh instance of a circle. I guess duplicating that 500 times for every attack can cause a little trouble, so I switched the actual mesh instance to a quad mesh, which is a singular image with an image of a circle on it, and that worked. Go figure. I spent a little time in my weather system trying to make the raindrops look a little better, as well as the debris that flies around in the wind, and I added a few different elements there, and it's coming along nicely. It'll look nicer with the camera effects applied. I'm not going to do that until the end. For the same thing that I did with the Candyman's attack, I went through the Donut Men and did the same thing, making sure that the particle effects that came off them weren't 3D mesh instances. They were just actually 2D images of the things. So I made some sprinkles and nuts and fixed most of them so they react when they get punched. A bunch of nuts fall off them when you punch them. That'll be fun. Over the creation of the pool ball system, I realized there was a glaring issue that if you haven't applied any properties to a pool ball, there was not an empty ball yet. So I created a blank ball, which is just the base projectile that the character can buy or find, and then throughout the game, when you get more abilities, you can turn these balls into balls with effects. But I had to integrate that into the system. Got that done. Wheelie Man Fun Man got a bit of a makeover. Now, instead of Fun Man's head on top, there is a metallic representation of Fun Man's head. Since this is not Fun Man, this is a remote-controlled version that Fun Man can use. Since fun is in the name of the game, I wanted Muscle Man's abilities to be more fun, and I realized that I could replace the areas that were previously Fun Man fists into explosions, and any NPC that had the apply impulse from an explosion would react explosively to the fists being punched. And I think it's really funny, and I think it'll be really fun to be able to yeet these guys across the whole screen. Last night I made the executive decision to get rid of carry limits in the game. Initially there was going to be upgrades from the fanny pack to a backpack to a machine you wore on your back called Trusty. I thought this was annoying and not very fun, so I got rid of it. So now your fanny pack is magical and can hold as many projectiles as you want. Penelope likes that idea. I did a little bit more work on the statues that you throw the golden balls at to get the special little guys. I made the lighting effects look a little bit nicer, and I also made it so it worked with the golden balls. Sorted. So that's it for today for Fun Man. I'd like to thank you for watching. I'd like to thank all the folks on Kickstarter and Patreon who have helped me keep this project alive. And I'm having a lot of fun making it, and hopefully someday I will have made a game you will enjoy playing. But for now, I shall go bye-bye. I wish you a pleasant evening, full of great dreams. Take care.